Hey guys, hey, thanks for joining me. For those that can't make it to the farm show, I will be getting it on YouTube. For those that can, this is what you can expect to see at the farm show. So this is the first station. What we got going on, I'll spin the camera around. We're going to look at rye as a weed control agent in beans that had we rolled this down this spring. This is 1-pass herbicide, that's 3-pass herbicide. Then we're going to look at rye and beans as a relay. Like this is the first attempt at it, first year of it. So it's not going to be as much of a like, how does it compare in yield, but more or less, did they even physically grow? Is there beans here? That kind of stuff. And then we're going to look at the alternative is not doing beans altogether. So we've got the farm business management is going to be here with conventional soybean numbers, full tillage, conventional soybean program. And then we're going to compare it against the rye field as an alternative crop to soybeans in this crappy market. And so I think we got a lot to discuss up here, and then we'll go to the next station. We're in the cornfield. So the rye is just on the top of the hill there, about a quarter-mile walk. So from where we park is about a quarter-mile up and a quarter-mile back down. The first thing we're going to just look at is 15-inch corn. Again, it's the first year of doing it, not how does it yield compared to the other stuff, but did it even grow? Well, obviously it's got some really good looking ears actually. So it's looking really well. But that was the whole goal on year one is would it even grow? And so at this point it actually grew enough that we will actually be able to yield check it compared to the 30-inch right next to it, just to see where can we take 15-inch corn in the future and how does that all work. So the next station, we got a lot going on. So last year this was cattle and cover crops, more cover crops than cattle, but it's a nitrogen study. So we got 3 different populations wide. Each 12 rows is a different population, 20, 30, and 40 or something like that. The hail and the storm kind of changed that population big time anyhow. But then each bay, 15 gallons, 30, 45, and 60 gallons of 28% with sulfur mix, the nitrogen credit. So we got a quarter, 50, 75, and 100% applied nitrogen for recommended for the year. And so then we can just physically look at the difference. Like, okay, we can, this one's a little more yellow, that one's dark green. Well, then the green from this to the next doesn't change a whole lot. So that's where we'll yield check it. And also in the population is because maybe one of them turns out a little better, is a little more efficient, when we bring in seed cost and stuff like that. This has to be the 20,000 because 1, look at that plant spacing, and 2, look at them freaking ears. So yeah, that's what's out here. Lot to see, lots to discuss. We might have some different theories, or different examples of seed cost versus nitrogen cost versus yield, but at this point it's more of an observational thing. And then this fall, then obviously we'll have the results from this plot to discuss, and I think that will be a lot to talk about. I think that'll be kind of fun. I'm excited to see how this one turns out. And we have a check, just a normal 30,000 row right here with full nitrogen for the whole way, just to be a check. And yeah, so that's that. The alfalfa field will be parking. That's where we'll have the lunch tent set up. We'll do more in the morning. That's where everybody will muster. We'll start ceremonies there and walk up to the rye. From the rye, walk to the corn. I think from the corn, walk back. And by that time, that probably is going to hopefully get us close to noon. If not, we've got the rain simulator set up there and other presenters to talk about stuff. Have lunch, then after lunch we'll come over here to the 60-inch corn and just see how that works. We'll discuss what the goal is out here between the 60-inch corn with covers and rotating the cattle and pasture out here. And again, this is first year on the corn, so the 60-inch corn wasn't the, hey, can we really compete for yield on that 30-inch corn? It's more or less, will it grow? Will it grow? Looking back, I wish I had the covers in this row unit at planting time. Moving forward now, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be corn, cover crops in the planter. And I think that will really set us off to the eventually having a self-sustaining corn-on-corn system. And then with all this green growth here, you let cattle out on this, and cripes alfrighty, they'll graze this for a decade. This will take a long time for the cows to clean this up come fall time when we get it fenced in next year. So this is a 10-year goal on this field. This is the other side of the pasture over there. So it's a 10-year plan. So day one is let's see if it even works. But yeah, so we'll come here, and then there'll be a few more presenters back at the muster area, and then the soybeans. We'll look at the time. If there's time, if people want, I'll take the brush hog and cut a path to the 55,000 population soybeans, so people can walk out into the field there and look at that if they want. I think with the amount of walking, by the time we just hit these 3 stations with some rest period and food, and people get some beer and pop in them, and all the other presenters going on, it's going to be a full day. So we might not even be able to look at the beans. That might be just an after the show thing. Just go look at it. The high yield soybean thing, I thought about doing that. I took that out of the show event. It's across the road. I did not do anything with it because I could give 2 craps less about high yield conventional beans. I'd love to see high yield 60-inch soybeans kind of deal or something like that. And so, but we got to get this hayfield mowed. We got a lot of brush cutting to do. I'm not going to try and brush cut every little thing, but it's just like this little spot here. But we got a lot of work to do to get ready here, and so it's going to be a tough week and weekend. But guys, that's what you can expect to see if you make it. And if you got any opinion, like, well, instead of walking all that way, if we could go record them stations, some pictures of it, and then bring it back to a TV in the tent, if people would like that better, let me know. It's our first show. I'm open to suggestions.